The movie starts in the past with a group of divers underwater, and they are throwing a missile at a warship named the Charlotte ship. Of course, everyone on the ship dies, and only two survive, named Brian and Jimmy. They are stranded in the open sea, trying to call for help from anyone. Brian keeps calling out to Jimmy to come to him before he drowns, but suddenly, a shark appears and pulls Jimmy underwater. Naturally, Brian is terrified by what happened, so he quickly climbs onto a piece of wood until he figures out how to get out of this situation. But suddenly, a shark appears and finishes off Brian. 80 years later, we meet two divers named Noah and Levi. We see them on a small boat in the middle of the water. They have found the location of the wreck of the Charlotte ship from the coordinates, so they go to its location. Levi stays on the boat because he is an old man and can no longer dive like he used to. Noah swims a lot in the water until he reaches the Charlotte ship, and he can't believe his happiness. He quickly contacts Levi and tells him that they finally found the ship. Noah starts exploring the ship on his own and is very happy with the achievement he has made. After that, he comes out of the water and sits down to celebrate with Levi on this happy occasion. Levi tells him that he has been searching for the Charlotte for more than 40 years, and everyone thought he was crazy because this ship disappeared a very long time ago, but he had strong faith that he would find it one day. He can't believe his happiness because that day has finally come. Noah tells him that he wanted to dive with him to see the ship for himself and suggests that they target the rich young men and women on the island and let them dive into the ship in exchange for $1,000 each. Levi likes the idea because he needs money desperately, but he explains to Noah that this project will take some time because they need to provide the proper diving equipment and also because the boat's engines need to be refurbished. Meanwhile, on the island, we meet a group of Noah's close friends named Brett, his sister Sam, Riley, and Logan. We learn that they have been friends since college, but they haven't gathered together for a long time because Noah decided to live on the island alone. A little girl comes by and sells a bracelet to Sam, who notices that the girl's hand is injured. She gives her $20 extra and writes down the name of a medicine, asking the girl to have her mother buy it from the pharmacy. The little girl thanks Sam for her kindness and leaves. A little while later, Noah arrives at his friends, and the whole gang rushes to greet him. They have missed his presence a lot. The moment Sam and Noah see each other, they get nervous. They were in a relationship a long time ago but broke up. Sam hugs Noah and, feeling sad, tells him that she thought he wouldn't be happy with her being there. Noah tells her that she is wrong and assures her that he is happy to see her. Brett pulls out a $2,000 bottle of wine and starts showing it off to his friends, but Levi arrives and takes the wine bottle from him to make them a cocktail. Brett arrogantly tells him that this wine is very expensive and shouldn't have anything added to it, but Levi explains that they are now in his bar, and it will be served his way. After that, Noah sits with his friends, and they start reminiscing about their old memories together. Noah thanks them for visiting him and apologizes for not staying in touch for so long. Riley notices that he has been smiling all day and jokes that the reason for his smile must be a girl. He tells her that he found the wreck of the Charlotte ship, and that's the reason for his smile. He explains to them that this ship dates back to World War II and had been missing for 80 years, but he found it today. Brett gets very excited and tells Noah that he wants to dive into the ship, but Noah refuses because it is very dangerous. Brett argues that they only meet every 2 years and should make a beautiful memory together before the problems of life separate them again. Noah still refuses, but Brett offers to pay any amount he wants and calls out to Levi, telling him he will pay him $100,000 in exchange for letting them dive into the Charlotte ship. Levi dismissively tells him that he doesn't need his money and walks away. Later that night, we see the gang having a great time together, enjoying their time. Sam notices that Noah is sitting alone, so she sits next to him and asks if anything is bothering him. He tells her that Brett is narrow-minded and sometimes says things that could upset people. Sam explains that her brother has become very arrogant ever since he became rich and thinks he can solve anything with his money. Noah asks about her work in medicine, and she tells him that things are stable. She asks how life on the island is, and he says that life here is simple and very peaceful, much better than life in the noisy and problematic cities. Sam tells him that she is happy for him. After that, Noah sits with Levi and notices that he is depressed and burdened. Levi explains that he has debts of over $3,000 and doesn't know how he will pay them off. He even thought about selling his boat to settle his debts. But Noah refuses the idea of selling the boat because he knows how much Levi loves it. He suggests they ask Brett for help, but Levi refuses because Brett is arrogant and rude. Noah tells him they won't lose anything by trying, so Levi reluctantly agrees. Noah goes to inform Brett that Levi agrees to the diving idea, but on one condition: Brett has to give him $50,000. Brett agrees, but with his condition that the whole gang dives together. Noah tells him that's not possible because it would be dangerous and illegal, and he planned to take him alone so they could dive without anyone seeing them. Brett reminds him that they are all divers at heart and that there is no need to worry. Noah reluctantly agrees. The next day, the whole group goes to meet Noah on the boat to prepare for diving. Afterward, Sam sits with Levi and finds him knitting crochet. She smiles and asks him why he is interested in sewing despite being a diver. He explains that his hands are weakening over time, and sewing is the only thing that strengthens his hand nerves. After that, the whole group suits up for diving, but before they dive into the water, Noah warns them to be amazed by what they see underwater and that they must all stay close to each other. He tells them that although they are skilled divers, this diving experience is different from anything they've done before. Before he can finish speaking, Logan jumps into the water. Noah quickly follows him and helps him put on his oxygen mask since Logan forgot to wear it. Noah scolds him for what he did, saying he could have hurt himself. After that, the rest of Noah's team jumps into the water, and they all follow Noah until they reach the Charlotte ship. The first thing Noah does is tie a rope at the entrance of the ship, which they must pull along with them throughout the diving trip inside the ship so that they can find their way back to the entrance. Noah asks the team to monitor their oxygen levels because if their oxygen drops below 1/3, they must all return to the surface before anyone runs out of air. They continue exploring the ship and find many rooms, such as workers' offices and even an operating room and a clinic. They are all amazed by what they see, despite Noah warning them several times to follow him. However, Brett doesn't listen and enters a bar inside the ship with Logan, where they start playing around. Noah goes after them and tells them they need to return to the surface because they've entered a deep area. But Brett refuses to return, thinking that since he paid $50,000, he can dive as he pleases. Sam is very upset with her brother's behavior, believing he thinks he can buy people with his money. Afterward, Brett and Logan continue exploring the ship, and of course, the whole team follows them because the two are reckless and might harm themselves. After a while, the team reaches a room where the water level is low, and there is still some air inside. They decide to take a break in this room without their oxygen masks to conserve oxygen for their return. Brett is the first to remove his mask and pretends to choke, scaring everyone. But then he starts laughing, saying he was just joking. The entire team curses him for frightening them. They all remove their masks, and Logan takes out a bottle of alcohol. Noah warns him that the alcohol he drinks underwater will have 10 times the effect of what he drinks on the surface, which could be very dangerous. But Logan doesn't care and even offers the bottle to Brett to drink with him. Suddenly, they hear a noise inside the ship and find that a dolphin has entered. Suddenly, the rope they were using gets cut. Everyone panics, sensing something is wrong. Noah asks them to calm down. Sam asks how they will return now that the rope is cut. Noah reassures her that he knows the way and tells them to put on their oxygen masks. They begin following Noah to exit the ship, but suddenly, Riley has a panic attack and can't continue swimming. Noah calms her down and asks everyone to check their oxygen levels. Riley is shocked to find she has only 30% left. Noah tells her that's enough to get her out, and even if her oxygen runs out, he will share his with her. At that moment, Riley spots a light coming from afar and assumes it's another exit from the ship. She swims towards the light, and the whole team follows her. Unfortunately, they find the exit is blocked. Suddenly, they feel something strange passing above them. Everyone gets nervous, and they ask Noah what is happening. He tells them it must have been a cloud passing overhead and asks them to remain calm to conserve oxygen. They continue following Noah until they finally reach the ship's exit. They all breathe a sigh of relief, but suddenly, a shark appears and bites Logan's leg. The shark then disappears. Everyone is terrified by what they saw, and Logan screams in pain. The team quickly takes Logan and hides in a spot away from the shark. However, they are shocked to find that the shark has returned to the ship's exit. They quickly block the exit with some iron bars to prevent the shark from reaching them. They all rush to the ship's clinic. Since Sam is a doctor, she starts treating Logan's injury, but he is in severe pain because a major artery in his leg has been cut. Sam takes out a syringe from the drawer to administer a painkiller, but as soon as she injects it, Logan starts bleeding even more. Suddenly, Logan feels very dizzy, and his tongue becomes so heavy that he begins to hallucinate, saying it's hot and asking them to open the window. Immediately, Noah realizes that his friend is dying and keeps calling out to him, begging him to hold on and not give up. But Logan suddenly stops responding. Sam quickly starts CPR, but sadly, Logan is already dead. The team is in shock at the loss of their friend, but since Brett only thinks of himself, he suggests throwing Logan's body to the shark to distract it so they can escape. Initially, everyone objects, but Brett convinces them that it's the only way to get out of there. They reluctantly agree and throw Logan's body to the shark. As soon as the shark sees the body, it ferociously attacks it. The team seizes this opportunity to escape, but unfortunately, Riley injures her leg while fleeing. The team has no choice but to return to the room without water, where they remove their oxygen masks again. To treat Riley's injury, Sam manages to temporarily stop her bleeding. Meanwhile, Bert and Noah are arguing, with Bert blaming Noah for their situation. Bert accuses Noah of knowing there were sharks in the area and still allowing them to dive. Noah insists he didn't know there were sharks, as he's lived on the island for years without seeing any. Bert tells his sister that she was right to leave Noah in the past because he's a failure and would have ruined everything. Noah loses his temper, leading to a heated argument. Sam intervenes, realizing that arguing is not helpful and they need to cooperate to escape. Riley interrupts, noting that there is only 6% of their oxygen left. Noah suggests that he, Bert, and Sam find another exit on the ship to get a new oxygen tank from Levy's boat and then return to Riley. Sam refuses to leave Riley alone, fearing she might have a panic attack. Bert and Noah decide to undertake this mission alone. Noah and Bert descend into the water again. Noah finds the remains of his friend and realizes he left the body for the shark. He apologizes to Noah for suggesting the dive. Noah tells him not to blame himself, as everyone agreed to the plan. They continue their search but encounter a shark. They attempt to escape, but the shark hits Noah, damaging his oxygen tank. Unable to move, Noah decides to remove his tank. When the shark reappears, Noah tells Bert to flee. Bert hides in a room inside the ship and seals himself in, while Noah uses his oxygen tank to drive the shark away. Noah then takes his tank back to the girls, admitting their mission failed. Sam asks about her brother, and Noah reveals he is hiding from the shark and can't escape. Noah and Sam are forced to leave Riley behind and head to the ship's ammunition room. Fortunately, the water in this room is not high enough to cover the ceiling, allowing them to breathe without oxygen tanks. Noah asks Sam to wait there while he retrieves Riley. Bert, having found a ventilation opening, manages to escape through it and reaches the water's surface, where he finds Levy waiting on the boat. Bert calls out, informing Levy that the sharks have surrounded them and they've lost one friend. Levy tells Bert to swim as fast as he can. Bert swims but is attacked by a shark that bites his legs. Despite his pain, Bert continues swimming until a second shark appears. Levy is shocked and unsure of what to do. Meanwhile, Noah and Sam, having retrieved Riley from the ammunition room, find another exit but are shocked to discover a second shark blocking it. They quickly close the exit door and return to Riley, telling her that sharks have surrounded them. Noah apologizes profusely for bringing them into this situation and explains he had no idea there were sharks. Sam reassures him it's not his fault. Noah proposes a plan to lure the shark blocking the exit into a cage to trap it and allow their escape. Riley volunteers to use her blood to attract the shark to the cage, given that she is injured. Riley stands by the exit, releasing blood from her leg. When Sam opens the exit door, the shark heads towards Riley. They manage to trap the shark in the cage, but Noah is injured during the process. The three escape from the ship, but another shark attacks Riley. Unable to swim due to his injury, Noah is rescued by Sam, who throws him towards the surface. Levy, in a diving suit, rescues Noah and brings him back to the boat. Sam lures the shark back to the ship and manages to kill it. She retrieves an oxygen tank and continues swimming until she finds a dry area to rest. Eventually, she encounters another shark and decides to surrender to death. However, at the last moment, she finds a metal object, fights off the shark with it, and escapes the ship. Sam arrives at the boat and finds Noah waiting. She tells him that Levi sacrificed himself for her survival. Later, it's revealed that Sam and Noah got married and had a daughter named Levi, living happily ever after. The film ends.